I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. When I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words... I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be... She fell, meaning she fell. Merely that. A mother and child falling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. I entered the lab, and there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. No dead body either, of course, meaning she must have left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony. You could hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
How to explain the fact the defendant has had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself. She always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make no sense, and yet...
Objection!
Oh, seems to make sense. Prosecutor Black Quill, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the Dark Age of the Law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much. You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell? Ugh. Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. Are you saying the little girl and the robot have nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx. Don't you dare, Judge. Don't forget I have hostages here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her? Miss Blackquill. Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom, isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackquill, you selfish... Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago? I can't let this happen. But I don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. Athena? Yes. Athena, what are you... Are you feeling okay? I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something. If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might just be the thing to get us through this. Sykes don't know. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept you're innocent.
Objection!
These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know. What are you talking about? Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial?
Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try, feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stares, so scared it makes you feel like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out that door even now.
And yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and become a lawyer.
The day's finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. All to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, you do realise what that would mean? You're the accused after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackquill innocent, then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what the truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and face the truth.
Athena's being so brave confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackquill, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine, but your efforts will surely be in vain. I am not a man who can be cut down easily.
Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. When I went to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. How cathartic it was.
Got it!
This feeling of happiness, even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. When I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that. Really? That much? Oh. I thought we'd be in for the long haul. Just now you said you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes, but the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead? I had no intention of harming Athena. I just wanted to confirm she was safe first. Just a part of my plan, nothing contradictory about that. The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch on to.
I was afraid of that. We'll have to keep chipping away at him bit by bit. Can you update his testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss.
That changed.
Got it!
Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. Ah, he can't be talking about that, can he? My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject. What? I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I'd usually find Athena playing. That day was different. I heard someone crying from the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment, I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep. All I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why he was relieved to see Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe.
Mr. Wright?
How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there?
I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now take a look at this. The noise level actually increased.
Right, I thought something was off there. It went up? I've never seen it do that before.
Prosecutor Blackwell's lying somewhere in his testimony, it's a matter of fact.
He's piling them up.
He's piling a lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise.
How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions. There's no flaws in my testimony, and his boldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause, and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
I don't think so, not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. What should I tackle first? Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions.
Got it, boss. If you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over.
Got it!
Nope, not quite.
Got it!
There we go. Now what? Why would you ready to surprise at opening the door to the lab? Alright, fine, I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was Ponko. The toy figure attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena, but she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it? That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko with the katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade.
Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now.
Oh, fuck me. It's 100% now. What's going on here?
Whenever we find an opening, he covers it with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate.
It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are sharp and strong as a katana. Which again, is not that fucking strong. Let's check the emotions again.
Got it!
Nope. Yeah, let's try his testimony. Blood. The blood.
Objection!
Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackquill. Look at this photo. That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it? How many more times must I see that which has damned me for my sin? The ironic thing is, I think this picture's actually going to be your saviour now. See the bloodstain at the end of Pongo's arm where it was severed with the katana? I hope you aren't claiming it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright. No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana. The katana already had blood on it? Then it must have been the victim's blood? That's right. If that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. You said in your testimony you cut up Ponko and killed Dr. Sykes. In spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture. What? But it can't be! Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackquill, your entire testimony has been nothing but one giant ball of lies. Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackquill, now. You have no idea what you're doing.
His voice. There's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something.
Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. Prosecutor Blackquill, you're on the witness stand. You're obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom?
All these complex emotions seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings.
Oh.
This voice hurts to even listen to it. You've been living with this pain inside him all these years?
And the root of it's all hidden somewhere in his testimony, isn't it?
That's right. Please hurry. Set him free, Mr. Wright.
Ah!
Got it!
When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I'll admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me too? Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be the truth? Right, Dono? I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright. It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. She smiled with a far-off look in her eyes, as she sweetly said, "Something's wrong with Mum, so I'm taking her apart to fix her." That's what I saw, and now you have it, the truth you so desperately wanted. No. Prosecutor Blackwell finally tells the truth, and this is what it is. It's beyond devastating.
I tried to take my mother. apart. Uh, uh, uh. No! 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 So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena! As I said, right, the truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart.
She loved me.
Your mother hated to see you suffer because she could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain. She worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much?
Yes, my head hurt every time I wore them.
No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of the people around you. Your power was much stronger than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with your everyday life.
No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much?
Her love for you was real, that I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know. Ponko was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Ponko away in the boarding lounge trash chute and hid the case on the Space Center grounds. It would seem we now have all the facts of the case. No, not yet. It can't end like this. Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back on the things that disagree with you? I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something. Anything. Even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. Now I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Athena.
it's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted one chance to tell everyone what I recall?
It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honour? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess? Very well. Then if you would, please take the stand, Miss Sykes.
Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Blackquill, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end. Athena.
Prosecutor Blackquill will be cleared and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes, admit your guilt and bring everything to its conclusion.
I killed my mother. My memory's still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honour, please find me guilty.
I dare say these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument?
Objection!
I do, Your Honour. Mr. Wright.
But Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
I said you never changed, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth. Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul. There's still a chance, somewhere deep in Athena's heart, there might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. It might be like looking for a grain of sand in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence. I hope for everyone's sake you're not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sight's confession? There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event, I can just tell.
Take that!
And what contradiction does that piece of evidence prove? Sometimes you have to flip or tilt a thing with a new way of looking at it, Your Honour. Fuck. I suggest you get a new way of looking at things yourself, Mr. Wright. That didn't work. Athena said the blood flowed down the handle onto my... Ah! Ah ha ha! Ah!
Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright? I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor.
But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers.
That's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts.
You're right.
Oh my!
Objection!
The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection!
She also said there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memory means? Gladly. Just give me a sec to think of something. I want to say Athena didn't stab anyone, but she said it herself she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Think, Phoenix, think. What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean? Miss Sykes said the blood flowed down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless. So it doesn't follow the defendant must have used a weapon. Doesn't it follow the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time? This is it. This time, I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana, that's much is for sure. If I can show a possibility Athena didn't use the katana, it could be up to me to prove her innocent. A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly? Right, of course he'd ask that. I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again as always? How does he do that? I can't back down. Not here, not now. That's right, I did, because it's so obvious it doesn't require any thought. What did you say? Okay, maybe that was an exaggeration, but it has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day? Maybe something in one of the crime scene photos. Wait a minute, there is something. There's a high probability that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in the evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it. Other than the katana, there's another blade that may have been at the crime scene.
Take that!
But that's the murder weapon in the Clay Terran case. Yes, this is the knife that took Mr. Terran's life, but there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this are ones issued to the Space Center employees. A robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around.
Objection!
But besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. It was in the investigation report, don't you know?
Objection!
Of course I knew that, once you told me just now. Then there's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene. But it didn't contain any blades. Here are a photo of its contents. You're right, I don't see any kind of bladed tool. That's because it's been nicked, clearly. Isn't me or have the tools been arranged to look like they're saying A. Sykes? Fine. Isn't there something odd about the design of these handles? Therefore, there were no other bladed weapon in the room.
Objection!
I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife. And what proof do you have of that? Don't tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense. Now, he's simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Notice the handles of each of these tools have a sort of design on them. I see that they do, but what's the significance does it have? It's clear one of the tools is missing from this kit. If we were to rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory of your pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you to come up with? Edgeworth, just let it go, man. Show the court then, if you would. What pattern or design should we see if we were to rearrange the tools? Just making sure there isn't anything more significant on there.
Take that!
And what design is this supposed to represent? The Gaiaxa logo, Your Honor. It's on all the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, Gaiaxa is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center. Oh, I think I see it now, but... Yes, with just the tools shown in this photo, the red A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. If we were to place a utility knife in the open slot, it would complete the Gaiaxa logo. So it would! Then that means... Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth, my aesthetic sense is keener than yours, and while you're at it, admit the weapon Miss Sykes used could have been this one. Cool! Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes did most likely stab someone using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Miss Sykes remembers couldn't have been that of Dr. Sykes. Very well. Let's suppose for a moment that Miss Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything? Come again. What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true nature of the murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife? Don't be ridiculous, or I'd change the premise of your entire argument. I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Miss Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon, and then concealed the knife on her personage until Black Quill carried her away. That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence. If, in fact, the murder weapon was a utility knife, then fate's dealt you a cruel hand. For you've just proved the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic.
Objection!
The prosecution's attempting to lead the court.
Objection!
You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of the case. Need I remind you there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands?
No.
It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife, as long as we know the victim and the defendant were the only ones there. You can't escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother.
I don't believe it. Why? Why does this keep happening? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if...
Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because it's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth?
I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. But what if?
Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do.
Is giving up really the only option? No. Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving up on doubt? I can't look back. Forward's the only way to go. No, Your Honor, not yet. It's not over yet.
Right!
I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena. I'll always believe in her to the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly. I concede the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponko witnessed in Athena's hug. But Prosecutor Blackwell didn't see the knife at the scene. This means someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the knife from the lab? Maybe Dr. Sykes was still alive and she's the one who took the knife away? No, that's definitely not it. If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude there was a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only 2 there. Then how did this third person manage to escape Ponko's detection? I know, this person must have fooled Ponko's facial recognition by covering... But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Ponko would have detected the presence. But she wouldn't have been able to tell they were there. Who they were, rather. Wait, that's it! The culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection. If the culprit poses the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. That still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How'd the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Pongo had detected the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. Does that mean the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by this time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab? Athena stabbed the real culprit, that's it! The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes, it was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit.
Now Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking. Let's bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honour, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations. You're absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby...
Objection!
I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. Because I realised something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact Miss Sykes is innocent.
But Pongo saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime.
Pongo did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. The person you stabbed wasn't your mother.
What are you saying, Mr. Wright?
The answer's simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes.
Ah!
Objection!
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Do you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time?
Objection!
After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now this is a smile of mine that means I have absolute confidence?
You make that pose all the time regardless of the facts.
Clonko's strange malfunction. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag, or because Clonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to the eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition, and then all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose.
Objection!
Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there were a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them.
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating.
What? So does that mean...
Yes, Your Honour, the person Miss Sykes stabbed. This third person who's posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer.
But that's... impossible!
A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask?
Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something?
A mask? Yes, I remember a mask. Ah!
Athena, what is it?
Ah! I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head. Ah!
Miss Sykes, are you alright?
No!
The black sidewalks, they're breaking.
It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened that day, my mother was murdered.